My name is Michael Parker. I'm not from here. I'm originally from LA, but I moved to Florida when I was real young, and I lived there for about 20 years, and then I just moved here recently. And people ask me all the time, why would you ever move here from Florida? I'm like, have you ever lived in Florida in like July or August? Jesus Christ. Like, September or October? November or December, guys. Like, hang in there. This is a 14-month joke.
And we are live. All right, we've got Mike Parker on this episode again. Welcome back.
What's up? Thank you.
Those of you that don't know, having performed together frequently over the years, Mike has become a close friend of mine. He's always been there for me, congratulating after my good sets and critiquing me on the bad ones. He's got a big heart. He's got a very distinct, authentic approach to the art of stand-up and a relentless spirit. We had so much fun in this discussion. We booked a follow-up interview, and so that was the last discussion, and this is the follow-up. So
yeah,
we are again. How you doing, man?
I am doing good. How are you doing, man? It looks like it's snowing out finally, dude. So
it's dumping here.
Yeah, it just kind of barely, dropping here, but I'm super excited. I don't know. I lived in Florida for 20 years, LA for the first 14 years of my life, Atlanta for 5, and then like when I moved here, seeing the snow I love it. So
yeah, and every time without fail, it shuts down the entire city in Seattle.
I know it makes no sense to me.
Yeah, you know what's even funnier too is everybody that's in Seattle, whenever it happens, everybody complains about it and everybody knows about it and everybody says, yeah, nobody knows how to drive. But it's like everybody that says that. So I'm like, somebody's making fun of himself and doesn't even know it.
Yeah. I mean, and the same thing with rain. It's like this place rains all the time and people still don't know how to drive in it. It's like, come on now. Like,
yeah.
Geez, yeah. So
okay, so first things first, we gotta crack open this Josh. Have you had Josh before?
Yes. I have not. This is my first time. I'm excited to try this.
Oh yeah, no, I was happy when you picked this one. This is Josh Pinot Noir, however you like to pronounce it. How do you pronounce it?
Noir, yeah. Pinot Noir. Wait, Pinot Noir. Yeah, Noir. I don't know. It's been a while since I had to say it.
Well, because of our wine review on the last episode, I don't think that we have. I'm pretty sure anybody that is a professional wine connoisseur has unsubscribed since then. So we're among friends now.
Yeah.
People that are going to be driving with us and that can relate. So yeah, I've had this one several times, but it's actually been a while, so I can't remember what it was like. I just remember it was good.
Do you know what kind of wine that men with an enlarged prostate drink? Pinot Noir. Pinot Noir. Dad joke, baby. How you like that one, huh?
I love it. Yeah, it's perfect. I got my dad bought apparel. Hoodie.
Yeah, buddy.
So we got dad jokes, dad clothes. All right, ready to taste this thing?
Yes, let's do it.
All right, I'm gonna toast. Here we go.
Toast, buddy.
Bam.
Bam. Okay. Yeah. It's pretty smooth.
Now I remember why I like it. Yeah, it's smooth and it's not super fruity.
No. Yeah.
I can't stand that when wines are like you drink it and it's just like drinking like fruit punch or something,
This is nice.
It's a pretty fancy wine glass you got there, man.
Thank you. It's my pink chalice. Just no. It was dishes day and I didn't get out one of my glasses, so and I haven't used this in a long time, so I was actually really excited to use it,
It's dope. This one is not near as fancy, but the reason is because I made it. Fun fact.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, I took a glass blowing adventure last year. It's a little over a year ago, and I for Christmas made my wife 2 wine glasses. She drinks wine much more than I do, which makes her sound like an alcoholic, but I drink. I'm the whiskey drinker of the family. So.
Your glasses Your glass is so much better than mine, man. Yours comes from the heart. I had to pay for this.
It's not super fancy, but yeah. So we have these and a big decanter too. We're big into decanters, especially if it's like something real like big and heavy and thick, like like we're gonna have steak or something. Then we like to just like let it air out for a little while.
That's awesome, man.
Like that, yeah. What do you get out of this? I get some fruits. I want to say like some strawberry.
Yeah, got some cherry in it,
Little plum. But I always feel like I get a little bit of crushed grapes.
Yeah, it's actually very nice. Good job, Josh. Good job, whoever Josh is.
There you go, Josh.
Yeah.
On that one, buddy.
Now, Josh, you have now established yourself along with like Prince, Cher, people that don't need last names. Just you go, boy. You did.
Doesn't even put his last name on there.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's terrible timing though, man. It was this horrible scheduling on my end. I just got out of the gym and annihilated back. I hit back super hard, and I just did an Instagram live of like what my back training is going to look like over the next 10 years, because this is literally a 10-year project to make my back look like Arnold's. Like I think I was studying his back and I was studying my back, and we have all the same like genetic tie-ins. We have the same bone structure, and obviously he has way more mass than I have and will probably ever have. But that was pretty inspiring. So I went in there like with a purpose and everything, and just freaking crushed it. And then I was leaving, and I was like, wait, I don't have time to like. Normally I come back to the office, I do all my emails, and I eat just like a pound of meat, just like whatever, just a pound of meat. I just weigh it out, and it's like whatever, however many calories and protein ends up being is what it is. But enough to where I'm not stuffed, but like it's a good recovery. And I'm like, man, I'm going. I told the owner of the gym too. He and I are pretty tight, and he was like, what do you got going after this? So I'm like, I'm about to go get drunk with a comedian on a podcast right now. Like after that workout, I'm like, yeah. He's like, that's not the best nutrition for your recovery there. I was like,
yeah. It's not a good recovery program, but we're here. We are. Yeah.
I can feel all my muscles just shrinking right now and getting further away from that goal that I just set. But
man, that's that back workout, boy. That's that's a tough one right there.
Back?
Yeah, your back. Yeah, because I mean, your back is just as much as a foundation to your body as anything, right? Because it does so much for you. That's why like it's so easy to go out, and it goes out for so many people, So
yeah,
it's good to build up those muscles and just keep it flexible as much as possible, man. So well, I got a hernia, so I can't even mess with anything anymore. Damn. Yeah, it's the worst, dude. Yeah.
Damn.
That's all right. It's just a little protruding. So, yeah, but that was from I was playing basketball, and just I went up for a jump shot, and as I jumped up, I just heard a little pop.
So I'm gonna edit that out, and we're gonna.
Yeah.
You were squatting 600 pounds.
Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah. So like I was squatting 600 pounds.
And you were on your 11th rep.
Yeah, and I was on my 11th rep. And I was like, I should have stopped at 10, but I said I gotta get this extra rep in, and then boom, I heard a pop, and I was like, damn it, that's it. So now here we are. Yeah.
God, man. How have you been, man? You've been performing a lot.
Yeah, as much as I possibly can. A lot of the time we're setting up little, guerrilla style mics on the streets, and now that like some of the clubs are opening up, I'm just kind of showing up and letting them see my face again, and and then eventually I'll get on stage with them. So so it's just like almost starting over, really. Sometimes it's like with this whole coronavirus, it's like now you got to go do the same things that we started doing when we were in the beginning, showing up and supporting. It's like, but I did this for like the last 3 years. So but yeah.
How's the crowd? Like, are people like there to have fun and they're kind of relaxed, or are people just like freaked out and nervous that they're even there because they're worried about?
No, I have to think that everyone. I wouldn't say they're freaked out. I'd say if they're coming out then, you know, I guess their mentality is, you know, probably, you know, they probably feel pretty safe, I would say. You know, I guess the people that don't feel safe don't come out. We'll just put it that way. So, and you know, people are definitely taking the precautions to, you know, keep a safe environment. You know, the clubs I've gone into, for example, Tacoma Comedy Club, you know, they have a lot of tables in one area before the coronavirus, and then they went and they split all the tables 6 feet apart, you know, and they're operating at 25% capacity, and so, you know, that definitely makes you feel good when you go in. You know, again, if you're one of those people that aren't freaking out and you're still, you know, you're trying to still live your life a little bit, and you go out to places, it's really nice to see places who go above and beyond, and keep that cleaning. You know, same thing with Laughs Comedy Club. I'm going to Laughs Comedy Club tonight to check out. I think they got like an audition showcase, so I might try to see if I can get on that. But yeah, the same thing. You know, they spread out everybody, and you know, all the sanitizer equipment, and you know, all the staff is wearing stuff. So yeah, it's pretty awesome to see. You know.
Yeah.
Tacoma Comedy Club is always a good club to go into and perform.
Switch my lighting right now. Bam. There we go. Now we have the same. We have the same skin complexion.
I know. I feel like I'm very like this. I have one box light on, and it's like I feel like I'm like Casper the Ghost. You know.
Yeah.
Actually, for those at home, I'm actually Dominican. Just it's crazy, but no. No, this light is super bright. I ain't gonna lie.
Cool.
Yeah. How do I look on that end? Do I look like a ghost? It looks like him, I think.
No. Not too bad. You're definitely more pale than me, so I just had to change my light to the pale light, and now we're the same.
I gotta get this sun out again, man. I need my vitamin D. Yeah. Yeah.
The regulations in these places, like, it's nice to see that everybody's being safe. I just can't stand it when people like overreact, and it's like you're so insanely cautious and paranoid that it's like, if that's your attitude, then just don't go. Like, you don't need to go to a comedy club, dude. You don't need to go to the gym either. Like, you can exercise at home too. Earlier today, I was doing supersetting. So it's my business. It's who I am. It's what I do. It's at the gym, right? So I'm supersetting at the gym between these three pieces of equipment, and I'm just kind of going around in circles, and then. And this gentleman was just using another machine. He wasn't trying to jump in or work in or anything. Otherwise, I always, let people work in and just would be more attentive to wiping down and everything.
Yeah.
But he and I are the only ones in this upstairs area of the gym. And he's, I don't know, 67 years old and just staring at me the entire time, like with this scowl on his face. I'm looking at him like, this guy's gonna rat me out. Like he's gonna go tattletale on me, and so he did. And I didn't see him do it, but the manager came up to me with a cloth, and he was like, hey, do you need a cloth? And I was like, no, I got one actually. It's right here. I'm wiping everything down just like I'm supposed to. And so that was yesterday that happened. And today I was at the gym, and the same guy was there working out next to me, and I knew he was gonna rat me out again if I didn't like wipe down every time I was done. I mean, nobody else is even using it. It's like, I'm not being safe. I'm not being irresponsible. Yeah. It's just like, I'm gonna wait till I'm done with the machines that I'm using since nobody else is, and then I'll wipe them and be gone. And so, and so he was staring at me again, and I looked at him, and he doesn't know that I know that he tattletaled on me, right? And so I looked at him, and I wiped down the entire machine from like I was wiping the floor next to it and everything, and
that's hilarious, dude.
And I was like looking at my reflection in the metal part and everything. Yeah. I
mean, that's kind of silly. Like, I don't know, maybe you could keep your something on the bench while you're, you know what I mean? Even though like while you're in between sets.
I do that. Yeah, I got my backpack and everything there. Like, it's all set up.
Why would you wipe down after your set when you're just going to sit back down? You know what I mean? It's like, that's silly to me. Yeah, the stuff like that is just silly. People do, I know this thing is real. Like, I know the pandemic is real. I understand it. I I also understand statistics. You know what I'm saying? So when you actually look at the numbers versus the population and stuff like that, it's so minuscule, that again, it's almost like, well, I can't just stop my life, man. I have to, like, this is the longest 2 weeks of our lives. Do you know what I mean? Like, this was only supposed to be 2 weeks, right? And so,
Yeah.
And again, especially with comedy, when you take off a year, when you're not performing, that's going to show. And it showed in a lot of people's, sets when I went to watch comedy, recently. So, but again, you just got to live your life. And as long as you're not one of those sociopaths that go out when they're sick, just be safe, be mindful of others, but you got to live your life, man.
Nothing worse than being in a store or being in a gym and the guy next to you is just like coughing up a storm, and it's like really?
Yeah, I mean, if he was smoking a blunt, then it'd be like, all right, buddy, I get it. But like, why are you coughing right now? Calm down, dude. I was taking a drink of water and had some down the wrong pipe, so I had a coughing fit going on. So people are kind of looking at me, and I'm like, this isn't what it looks like. You almost want to go run into traffic just to like take the attention off. Like, golly, man, I'm just coughing,
Yeah.
But I get it too. I'll see somebody cough, and it'll take your attention real quick. You're like, what the, and that's sad. That just sucks,
Yeah. What are the topics like at the clubs right now? Like, are people are they about the pandemic, or are they about other stuff? Like, are people just like saying it? Like,
yeah, there's a lot of pandemic stuff, especially with comedy. You want to try as much as possible to write and stay, do topical stuff as well. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure every comedian for the most part in the world is getting on stage and saying something about the coronavirus. I know I am, you know what I mean? So,
you almost kind of have to say something about it just to,
you have to,
just to break the ice.
What are you gonna do? Go up there and go, so how's everyone doing? Like, how you guys been doing the last couple months? No, I mean, you got to address the elephant in the room. And so, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Let's just hope they keep us out and about and not shut us down again. You know, let's.
Dude, did you see that Brian Regan has a new special coming out at the end of the month?
Oh no.
Yeah, it's on Netflix and it's hilarious. I've only seen like a 2-minute clip on it on Instagram, but dude, I swear he just gets funnier and funnier and funnier, and he's got gray hair and everything. He's got super gray hair. That was like his opening joke. He's like, all right, he goes, let's start with the gray hair thing, because if I don't cover that, then you guys aren't going to listen to a word I say for the next hour.
Right? I know. See, if I was famous before the pandemic and came back, I'd have to be like, all right, guys, before we start, I'm going to have to explain this little gut that I've accumulated over the last couple months. If I don't, no one's going to listen to anything I say. Yeah, man. Oh, my God. This is the fattest I've ever been in my life, bro. It's crazy. Yeah. I'm about 40 pounds overweight. Yeah. But no, Brian Regan, man, he's hilarious. I'm super excited to see that, dude.
It's hard to have an all-time favorite. It really is, because this isn't art, which is why comedy competitions is like you're making a sport out of an art, But yeah. But no, Regan. If somebody put a gun to my head and made me pick a favorite, it would probably be him.
Yeah, I've only really kind of been exposed to him within the last couple years. But the stuff that I've seen of him, really funny. I admit I'm not the biggest comedy connoisseur, so I'm not like, I just, and I suggest people do. They should research comedians, and they should go back into the archives and take a look. But again, I'm a better preacher than I am a practicer, so. But like every once in a while, I will go back and I'll look at like an old clip of Brian Regan's, and you're just like, dude, this guy is out of his mind in the most funny way, And and he's just getting better.
And just how much mileage he can get out of something. And like he can take a premise and like and there's not even really a punchline. Like he just acts it out, and he'll just drag it out further and further and further. And like my wife can't handle that. She's like, okay, we get it. And like the more he does it, like the more into it I get. I'm just like, this is just getting funnier and funnier.
Isn't that funny though? Like two people, like two soulmates, can just have totally different, like taste when it comes to comedy and just what they think is funny and what they like, but here you guys are together as one, in the universe, and I think that's awesome. I think that's great too, because comedy is subjective, and you're right, it should truly not be put into a competition, but again, those things don't mean anything to me for the most part. A lot of the time competitions are like, audience based. So that kind of makes it into a bringer situation. So if you have a comic bringing 100 people, but you're 20 times funnier than that guy, and you don't have anyone, you're not going to win. So it just that don't tell anything, and and then sometimes when you have when you're dealing with judges, even judges, again, it's subjective. You might be a hell of a lot funnier than somebody, but maybe these judges just don't find you funny or something. Yeah. So you just can't base it on competition, So
yeah, I was thinking about that as I was driving back here. I was like, comedy competitions are just. I haven't done one yet. I really want to, but as soon as I was about to do one, pandemic hit. Like I was like just getting ready, but it's just like bodybuilding though. It's like it's such an art, and it's like, really, you're gonna compare this person's body, how they look, and all of the work they put into it to shape it the way they did, and to sculpt it, and to condition it the way that it is, and then compare them and say this one's first place, this one's second place, this one's third place. It really devalues the artistic aspect of it, but at the same time, what it also does is it makes you push so hard because you want that trophy so bad. People are like, oh, that's such vanity. I'm like, yeah, well, we're all human beings. We all have vanity to some degree, and I guess that's mine, and to have a trophy that I've earned is just like, man, like that, like I'll do anything for it. Like I'll do anything.
Yeah.
To be honest, but it pushes you so much further than where you would have been otherwise. And so it's what you get from the process and what you learn, what you become through. I've always said that I'd rather take second place to somebody that's just flat out a better athlete than first place just by default. And so through the process you critique yourself and you develop your body or your act or the way that the figure skating, that's an art, right? But those athletes are 10 times better and more artful because they're competing for something that they want. They're for a gold medal. So I would imagine it's the same thing when it comes to like a comedy competition.
Yeah, I just say if you kind of just go in with the mentality that you're there to have fun, you're there to, expose your comedy to, another style of audience or another audience, then you'll probably have a better time. Again, though, man, it's just because, again, if you feel your skill level is way better than other comics, you know what I mean? And then you go into these competitions and you're just not even cutting it and these guys are going above you. It's very easy to kind of let that mentally mess with you. And so, again, that's why when I go to these competitions, I just go to have a good time, and I go to do my set. And a lot of the times I'll have people come up to me afterwards and just, say like, oh, you were my favorite. Oh, you got robbed or anything like that. And I'm just like, and I just brush it off. I'm just like, oh, well, thank you. And so that's, that's rewarding in myself. I mean, I've won, a couple local competitions, but I mean, also too, like, the competition level wasn't there either, you know what I mean? So that's, but it was fun for what it was. And, but I'm not bragging about, Starbucks on 4th Avenue comedy competition with, Like, no one knows about. Actually, Starbucks, that'd be a pretty big sponsor. So maybe like Joe's Barbecue on, Seattle or something. I don't know, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Have you found these to be pretty fair as far as the judging goes, or is there like politics involved and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, so for example, I was in a comedy competition where they were doing like the Voice, but it was like the comedy version of it, and so what they had 3 judges, and they were sitting in like rotating chairs, and just like the Voice. However, they knew who was on the list, and for the most part, it was their friends and other bookers and producers that will actually give them gigs, because the 3 people were like kind of established local Seattle legends, in a say. I wouldn't say legends, but like 3 pretty prominent Seattle comedians who travel the country and perform. And so a lot of those, they're friends with a lot of people in the area, and so like I said, they kind of knew who was coming up. They knew the voices of other, their friends, and so there was a good example where I had a really, really monster set. Like, I mean, I had everyone coming up to me and telling me I got robbed, and I didn't make it. And I was watching these people who I've been working with for several years, who, again, I personally believe I'm funnier than, that's just me though. But, and I'm watching like a slew of them keep, making it to the next round. And I'm just like, and then, like I said, I found out through the grapevine and kind of exposed it, and that it just wasn't. So that's just one example. And then I said again earlier, like with bringer competitions, like you can't judge a bringer competition, because if you bring 100 people and I bring 0, and I, what I mean, I don't make it because of that, that don't mean nothing, right? Or anything. So, but if you do have judges, I would say like maybe on TV, maybe more like, I don't know, like more transparency, like, or more of a national setting. I'm assuming it would be a lot more fair. So yeah. I don't know. I think local competitions have more of a chance to being a little bit, favoritism, or I wouldn't say corrupt, but maybe like, lopsided, I guess you could say. So yeah.
I'll drink to that.
Cheers. You don't need a competition to tell you you're funny. The audience will tell you, the people, so
yeah.
But I would definitely like I said, I recommend doing, like, just having fun and doing stuff, I mean, it's for the experience.
It'll just make you look at your act in a completely different way too, I would imagine.
Yeah. And see that, so just talking about Brian Regan, I forgot to say was, some competitions, like I'm a darker comedian, I do dirtier material, so some they don't want that, and so maybe someone like you who has more clean material and more relatable material, you might do better, and have more success, or vice versa. Maybe we go to like some comedy competition in New York where it's very vulgar and very, what I mean, where someone like me would probably thrive, and then someone like with like, a lighter, easier material, and not easy, but like cleaner material, would probably not. So again, it's all subjective, right? So, but Brian Regan, that guy is, I mean, super clean, and that guy can literally, and he can perform in front of kids, which is super, admirable. Like, I think that is amazing. And so, again, because of my style comedy, trust me, deep down inside, I would love to be a Brian Regan. I'd love to just, I wish I didn't even have to have a curse word in any of my sets, or I wish I didn't have to drown my ex-girlfriend off a boat. But,
You're my favorite joke.
I know. That was a callback from the last interview.
Yeah.
Dude, that was funny, man. I couldn't even remember that joke, dude. That was funny. I remembered it now. But
I know. If you went back and listened, you'd see that I just cut it all out, and then I put the audio of it in. So
you go.
Everybody would get the gist of it.
Yeah, I was like, damn, I can't even remember my joke, man. That's how long it's been since I've done that joke. But yeah, man. But that's funny, dude. But yeah, I mean, so I just take comedy competitions with a grain of salt, man. Just go there, have a good time. If you invest too much of your soul into it and you don't make it, it's not going to be good for your ego, so yeah, I don't know. But I will say, like, as far as bodybuilding though, man, like that's just a totally different thing, man, because you got, you work solo, you know what I mean? Like, and you just work your body out, and then you just put yourself on this platform.
Hey, we're basically nothing.
Yeah, I think it even says in the Bible, "Do not judge thy beefcakes." I don't know, but I'm saying, no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, but I mean, it is an art. I mean, you see these guys, you gotta know how to flex right. You gotta know how to flex right without tightening up, probably. And I don't know, you gotta know how to oil yourself right. you gotta tan right. You can't have tan glasses, right? Or tan lines in your glasses. And so, I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. So, I mean, it's just the same thing, if you win and you succeed, that, you're proud of that. And I think also too, it's probably a little bit, I would imagine that those competitions are probably a little bit more fair, possibly. But on the same token, I don't know. Huh?
Depends on who's judging. Yeah, the community that I'm a part of and the shows that I have done, I do my research and I make sure that they're reputable and that they're that the judges are respected within the industry, because there's lots of different federations and types of competitions that you can pick and choose from. And the one that I do is INBF, which is International INBF. International Federation of Bodybuilding, I think.
Well, you're gonna get kicked out of the club, man, if they see this one.
Yes. INBF is what it is, though. And,
they're gonna be like, "Oh, you didn't even know our name, huh, buddy? All right, and you want these accolades? I gotcha."
Yeah.
Colt Milton finishes last in every competition from here on out. That's gonna be on the. Man, that's funny though. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, the judges are there for the right reason, and they make a sport out of it, which is what I love. Like you go to some of these shows, I'm not gonna say any names, but there's a federation that whenever I go to their show, like the posing is just awful, and like they're up there and they flex and they can walk off stage and that's it. But to make it a sport, if it's close, sometimes they'll just keep you up there for 15-20 minutes and they'll say, okay, let's just see who can hold the pose the longest, since you're like basically the same, and then
funny, dude.
Oh yeah, there's been my first couple competitions, that especially the ones that were tight, like if they're going to give out a pro card and somebody's going to become a pro, it's like they want to make sure that they give it to the right person and the best athlete. And I've been sore just from holding those poses for like a week afterwards.
Yeah. I can only imagine. I know. I mean, when you're like maybe at the beach and you see hot girls, you start punching up your chest, and then if you hold it too long, it's like yeah. Yeah, I hear you, buddy. No, I will say, I think would be fun at a bodybuilding competition is like, so sure, you can pose and flex, but can you also set a table for 6? Like that'd be dope, right? Like, and then you got this table and all these plates, and then you gotta set it up in your G-string. So yeah, that'd be cool. Okay, so that'd be fun. Can you mount a TV to a wall? Listen, that'd be a sport right there.
It sounds like what you're describing is those ladies' night out events when they bring in all. Not that I've been to one.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just saying, but
like the movie Bachelor Party with Tom Hanks.
Yeah, oh yeah, dude. Oh man, that was a good name drop. I remember, but it's been a long time since I've seen that movie, man.
Bro, that's one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. And when you think of Tom Hanks and the movies that he's in, and then you see him in that, you're like, this is Tom Hanks.
I know, dude. And so there's an interesting story about Tom Hanks. So Tom Hanks is an icon. He's an actor icon.
Yeah.
And but that guy started off in drag.
Yeah.
Remember Bosom Buddies?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so, you know, I mean, Samuel L. Jackson was, I think he was like the mailman on the Pee Wee Herman show, you know? So, you know, it's just, everyone starts somewhere. And like, I think we were talking last time.
Harrison Ford was beat up and picked on through high school. I think this was on Andy Frisella's podcast. He was like, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he was voted least likely to succeed, and he had everything going against him, and he was turned down by everybody trying to get in the show business. Yeah. Harrison Ford.
Dude, that guy. I mean, he has at least, I mean, 2 for sure iconic roles, right? In Indiana Jones and Han Solo. But I feel like there's something else. Wasn't there something else that he was?
Oh, that's a whole bunch of other movies that he's in.
Well, I mean, like an iconic character that he, like Han Solo. That like there was multiple movies made.
Right.
What else was he in?
God,
but I mean, yeah. There's, I mean, that guy right there. You know exactly. There's, you know, what the hell did his schoolmates know? They're probably idiots.
Fugitive.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. But yeah, I'm sure Harrison Ford couldn't wait to go back to his high school reunion. You know, pulling up in the Millennium Falcon and shit. Just obviously he can't drive, but they're just like, they just got this 18-wheeler just pulling parts of it, right? And they assemble it out there. Yeah, that'd be great, man. Yeah. Pulling up in a TIE fighter and just yeah, I'd be crazy. That's why I know, man. I'm going back to my high school reunion, bro. They're doing a 25-year. God, I just told my age. Ridiculous. And yeah, so I decided what I want to do is I want to treat it like, and I want to like fully experience it in like a high school experience, you know? So I think I'm just going to skip it and go get wasted down at this dead end street. You know what I mean? That's all I did in high school. It's like just skip school and go get wasted at the end of the street. Yeah, but yeah, man.
That's going to be in Florida?
Yeah. It's supposed to be this summer. I hope I make it out. I'm going to try. But you know, who knows? I'm still waiting for them to offer me to do a 30-minute gig. You know, it's like, come on, friends. You guys know I'm a comedian, man. What's up, man?
Yeah.
You guys, I'm sure you guys are looking for entertainment.
You guys are really gonna celebrate though after the Super Bowl if you're in that area.
I know. But yeah, it'll be interesting to go down there because like I remember when the Bucs won in 2000. I think it was 2000 or 2001. Tampa was going crazy, dude. They were nuts, man. And I think it's awesome they had it at their home stadium. I truly did not think they were going to win. I'll be honest. I thought they were going to get smoked. So, and they're the ones that did the smoking.
And back in 2000 when they won it the first time, when they had Brad Johnson and Mike Allstott and Warren Sapp and like all these heroes and everything. So they're my favorite team at the time. Literally the only reason is because I just thought their logo was freaking awesome. I just thought Buccaneers, Pirates, like I was a little kid, you know, so I was in 3rd grade, and so like I was super into it. I was wearing my Mike Allstott jersey to school every day, and everybody in my class was Seahawks fans, Steelers fans, Packers fans. We're in Montana, so I mean, the closest team is like Denver, right? And I hate the Broncos, so like that's basically what all our choices were. So I was like, man, the Buccaneers are my team. And when they beat the Eagles in the playoffs, and then they beat the Raiders in the Super Bowl, bro, I was like, I felt like I was the coolest kid in school.
I told you guys, yeah. I told you guys.
I was gloating, and I just never let off of it.
That's funny. Yeah. I mean, I lived in Tampa for about 20 years.
Their coach too, John Gruden.
Yeah.
Youngest coach to win in history, I think, at the time.
And he had quite an advantage because he was lucky enough to face his former team in the year before. I mean, he was coaching the Raiders the year before, and so I mean, the Bucs definitely had an advantage as far as that go. I heard there was some kind of documentary about it, and that I guess Gruden. So when the Raiders went, like that whole thing just kind of happened. So the Raiders were like, you know what I mean? So when that year, they kind of stayed with the Gruden philosophy and the playbooks and stuff like that. And in the Bucs, they like John Gruden exposed all that. And you can hear when they're, you know, like when they have like the NFL mic, the mics, when you're mic'd up.
Yeah.
You can hear the Buccaneers players like calling out audibles to their plays because they know what's coming. And then you can hear, they're like, just like coach said, you know?
Yeah.
So that's, you know, hey, that's a part of the game, right? I mean, if sure LeBron James, when he goes to LA and they go play the, you know, Cleveland Cavs, I'm sure he's like, well, this is what, you know, these players do and stuff like that. So it's all fair in love and war, baby.
It wasn't too difficult of a win though for them to beat the Raiders in the Super Bowl at the time, because the real Super Bowl was the championship game with the Eagles.
Oh yes. Isn't that funny though? Like you want, like some of the conference championships are way better than the Super Bowl usually.
Yeah.
Especially like I remember like the Seahawks and the 49ers during that kind of stretch of the early, you know, 2010s and those were just some of the best games ever with John Harbaugh and stuff like that. So, but the Seahawks always had the advantage, always. Yeah. God, man. Here's the Tampa Bay, buddy.
We're drinking to Tampa.
Yeah, that guy Tom Brady. Jeez, man. I thought it was actually Belichick that had the deal with the devil. Has to be Tom Brady, man. Has to be that guy. I mean,
how poetic that the Patriots get rid of him, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna go take this team out, win the Super Bowl with them.
I know, isn't that crazy, man? It all. I mean, everything came together towards the end of the season for the Bucs, and but yeah, Tom Brady, you just can't deny him. He's not a big numbers guy, but he wins, and that's all that matters, man. That's all that matters. Because I mean,
you see him in the huddle too. I saw this on Sebastian Maniscalco's Instagram feed. You follow Sebastian Maniscalco?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he's one of my all-time favorites too. But he was playing this clip like in that voice. He's like, "Look at this guy. Look at this guy." Right? That's like his facial expression.
Yeah, I love it. I love it too.
He's like, "I'm playing this for my kids every single morning. This to me is motivating." Because it was the fourth quarter, like 5 minutes left, and he's and Tom Brady is just freaking out, yelling at his team to score again.
Yeah.
And there was just a couple minutes left in the game.
He's definitely a heck of a competitor, and if you want, when you're watching him,
you can say hell. You can say hell on my show, by the way.
Oh, I know. I just, I'm trying to clean up my act in general, but no, I'm just kidding.
I appreciate that. Makes the editing a little easier.
Yeah. I mean, he is just, he's one heck of a competitor. And, when you're watching him actually, and I was really watching him in the Super Bowl because I don't really watch him. And, but they were zooming in, or, they were really focused on his face while he was on the field. And I mean, that guy was just as cold as ice, man. Just, his facial expressions never change. It's almost like he was just envisioning like what the coach is calling and what he's like, all right, I'm already envisioning how this is going to go down. And I mean, the guy's 43, man. That's crazy, dude. And he's coming back next year. And who knows how much, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know.
I hated that guy for so long.
I know.
After they beat the Seahawks, and then just like seeing him win over and over again, I'm like, I love the guy. I can't deny him anymore.
You can't. He was a 6th round draft pick, dude. That guy was a 6th round draft pick out of Michigan. And I mean, when he was with the Patriots and Drew Bledsoe was the starting quarterback, I don't know the exact name of the Chiefs player, but Tom Brady owes everything to that Chiefs player because the Chiefs player knocked Drew Bledsoe out, and that was the end. You know what I mean? Then it was just Tom Brady from here on out. But I mean, yeah, the guy is. But if you look at his stats, man, like this year was the most he's ever had in all categories. This was the most he's ever had. But most of his years, he's never broken 2,200 yards in passing. He's never had like huge numbers. But again, he wins Super Bowls. Geez. So, and with all the cheating scandals and stuff, I mean, I don't know. I think everyone's just doing it on a certain level, and because they were just winning all the time, they just, someone really just kind of whistle blew on them, and so but they're all doing it, man. Everyone's looking for that advantage.
Well, and whoever wins is going to have the microscope on them more than anybody else's.
Of course, a deflated ball. I just that's silly to me. That's just was it it works both ways, that team had a deflated ball then, it's just, I don't know. And they switch out the balls so often too. That just doesn't make, did Tom Brady go in and deflate every ball, and he had a little pressure sensor, thing, and he was just deflating every ball to whatever pounds they said it was, every ball? Come on, man. That's not true. And, but yeah, you just can't deny him. Just like you can't deny Derek Jeter. I hate the Yankees, but you can't deny him. Derek Jeter, he's an amazing player. You just can't deny it. You just can't deny those type of people, man. So, but that people want to hate. People still think Tom Brady sucks. It's come on now. Yeah.
You go out. Let's have you show us how it's done.
Yeah. Well, I would, but I don't want to get off this, this couch, and I would if it wasn't a Tuesday, but and everyone knows what they're doing from the couch.
It's one thing to have a bird's eye view and say, oh, he should have done that, but you have 300-pound human beings that want to crush your bones.
Yeah. I will say I am a coach that will go for it on 4th and 1 every time, even if I'm on the 12-yard line going, the other way. Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm just maybe it's because I played Madden too much in my life, but yeah, I'd be every time. I mean, we are professionals. We just need to get 1 yard. I think we can do it every time. And it's funny because it just doesn't happen that way, man. I think stuffing a 4th and 1 is one of the most beautiful plays ever, man. I really do. I'm just how did you not get a yard, man? Yeah. Speaking of Tom Brady, that was the king of the 4th and 1s too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, buddy.
Good stuff, man. Someone wanted to run by it too. Do you follow Steve Harvey? Did you see his announcement as of
no
ago?
I'm very intrigued. I gotta be honest. He's an interesting character. So,
dude. So I don't care what anybody says. I've been a Steve Harvey fan for years. I love his show. I love his act. I love everything about the guy. I read his book, Jump. I love the book. It's just huge Steve Harvey fan. That's coming from me right now. But yeah, he made a video basically saying that he invented a new religion.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, Chrislam is what people are calling it.
Christ what?
Chrislam, Christian and Islam.
Okay.
Yeah, he was recorded on video saying that there's more than. I mean, he's claims to be a Christian and has been a Christian. I'm not, criticizing the guy at all, but I'm just saying, man, this is something that he said and that was recorded, and he hasn't taken it back, but. He said that there's more than one way to get to heaven besides Jesus, and that's
Yeah, that's an interesting fact. Yeah, you can't be a Christian and say that.
Yeah,
I don't.
No.
It's very clear that there's truly only one way to heaven, and it is through him, through Jesus Christ. It's not through good works. It's not through anything. It's just truly through Jesus Christ and truly repenting for your sins and believing in Jesus Christ as the Lord and Savior. That's the only way. As far as my belief goes, as far as other people, the true Christian belief goes, that's what it is. I support people's opinions and and beliefs. That's fine. But yeah, he's wrong in saying that in my book, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't agree.
from a Christian perspective, anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like I said, I totally I support people's beliefs, and as long as again, you do it with respect, and so whatever you want to believe in, believe in what you want to believe in. As long as you do it respectfully, you're not out killing people because of your beliefs. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, let's get it. But I know what I believe in. That's all.
Yeah. Well, we happen to believe the same thing, which is nice. It's refreshing. Yeah. John 14:6. Jesus saith to him, he's talking to Thomas, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. And it's pretty explicit right there.
Yep.
I don't always read King James, by the way. I'm not like that hardcore or anything, but I got the thing that I've read. I like to go back and read it just because I find the way that it's written very poetic. So this isn't the one that I study out of, but this is my. So like I read things that I've already studied.
Yeah.
The Bible for the most part is specifically dedicated to stuff that I think is funny. So I just grabbed it here because it was handy. But yeah, anything in here that's orange is something that is literally like I mark it because I'm like, that's hilarious, and like we can, you know, we like that's a good premise, you know.
Oh, I think the Bible has a lot of material in it, potential material in it, and that's not sacrilegious. Do you know what I mean? That I think the potential for a comic to really, and I don't want to use the word exploit, but just like explore the comedic side of the Bible, but in a non-sacrilegious way. I think the the sky's the limit with that, to be honest with you, you know. But yeah, I mean, yeah, you know, I don't, you know, I've read the book. I don't read constantly. I'm not a scholar in it and stuff like that. I just know what I believe. And you know, one thing I just don't understand is how people can deny, at the very least, the historical aspect. Like, it's not just one group talking about a guy. I mean, you had the Roman Empire involved, who, you know, again, historically speaking, you know, there's records of him, you know, even in the Islam world, you know, they recognize Jesus Christ as a prophet, you know what I mean? So historically speaking, Jesus Christ was a real person, you know what I mean? So for anyone to deny that, that's silly to me, you know, absolutely silly. Now, whether you believe he's the son of Christ, that's between you and whatever, right? So, but yeah, I mean, even if you don't believe that, how can you deny his teachings? How do you deny Jesus Christ's teachings? You know, I understand that, like, man has kind of maybe given, you know, man has really ruined religion for the most part. But you know, yeah, I mean, they really have. So, but, you know, from a spiritual level, you just can't deny Jesus Christ's teaching. You cannot. He is literally everything that everyone in this world wishes the world was, you know, like, we all want world peace. Well, how do we do that? By loving each other, you know, and treating the next person as you want to be treated. You know, you can't claim that you love someone and then stepping over homeless people saying, you know, get out of my way, you scumbag piece of crap person. You know what I mean? Like, and there's so many people like that, you know what I mean? So yeah, you know, I don't know. Like I said, you just can't deny how great Jesus was as far as who he was and what he stood for, at the very least, as a human being, you know. So but he is my Lord and Savior, so I know that much. So I love him. So
yeah, that was well said, man. That was awesome. It was like a little sermon.
I mean, you know, but I mean, it's true, right? So yeah, and thank you very much, Jesus. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Well, we're back. Yeah, I was glad that we started like a half hour later, though. It gave me a chance to pull my pork spare rib out of the crock pot. It's like it's like our favorite thing, is because the rib in it is like, well, first of all, I'm like, why do they call it a spare rib? You know, is it like a spare tire? Like the pig never needed it anyway. It's like, cool, I'll eat it. You know.
Right.
I'm like eating these pork spare ribs as a nod to all my vegan critics, because I got people that criticize me for the amount of meat that I eat. They're like, you're gonna die of a heart attack, and I'm like, no, you're right. Like, the number one cause of death in people that eat meat-based diets as heart attacks. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, not the number one cause of people that eat, the cause of death in people that eat vegetarian diets are what? Heart attacks. What? Heart disease.
I was going to say lack of personality, but okay. No, I'm only kidding, vegans. I'm kidding. I love you guys. Trust me. I don't have vegan material. I don't even know what it truly is, what that lifestyle is. So, again, I'm busting your pork chops. No.
I had a vegan joke that I swore was hilarious, and maybe it's not. It might just not be funny. I don't know. Maybe you be the judge of this. But I was more embarrassed than a vegan eating a Big Mac.
Yeah, yeah. It's a cute little quip.
Probably not that funny, but people got pissed off when I said it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I will say I did do a show at a vegan place, and I made a joke about like a meet and greet, but it was like a meat. Like I was like, it's weird to be in a vegan place and we're doing a meet and greet. I don't even remember actually what I truly said, but it was just like, and they were just like, they're like, F you, buddy. I was like, oh man. I was like, I'm just messing with you guys, man. I was just trying to poke fun, but yeah, they weren't having that, man.
Yeah. Well, see, you have vegans and vegetarians, and you think, okay, what's the opposite of that? Somebody like me that eats only meat and I don't eat plants, right? So I do sometimes, like every now and then, I'm like, I'm kind of just craving a salad, and I'll eat a salad. But so I guess that's like how I cheat on my diet, is by eating a salad, right? So I just eat a lot of meat, freaking love it. But there's quite a few of us that do that, and so if you do a hashtag search on like carnivore diet, carnivore bodybuilding, but there's actually quite a big community and several podcasts that talk about meat-based diets, even to the extent of eliminating all vegetables. But the difference is they're just not the same type of people. Like it's not a cult at all.
Yeah.
And there's no there's no like holier than thou like high priest or anything like there is with with these other crowds that are judgmental and that'll literally just like rip somebody apart like me just because of my lifestyle. Like how can you eat all that meat and feel good about yourself? How can you eat other animals? And like, because those animals would have never died if I like that. They would all be alive. Like animals that are in the wild and that die by a predator eating them. It's not a humane death. They get ripped apart and torn apart the limbs, and they starve to death, and they get disease and stuff. I mean, the way that we raise our cattle in Montana, bro, like they're taken care of, and they're like pets by the end of it, and they get fat and they're happy, and we pet them. Like we literally walk up and pet them. One of the most meditative things for me to do as a kid was just I did this last time I was in Montana. I just walked out there and I'll just sit there. It's nice and quiet, and I'm just looking at all the cows, and they literally all just come up to me and start licking me. you can't move because you'll spook them, and so like I'll just like slowly come up and pet them a little bit. And this one cow, she's my favorite. She'll like headbutt me to get me to scratch her on the top of the head and like behind the ears.
Yeah.
Scratch her on the head and behind the ears, and as soon as I stopped, like she's just like a dog, like she does it again. So I did that, and I posted it on Instagram, and then and I had somebody that I thought was a really close friend, just like I didn't even know she was a vegan, but she just ripped me apart for that. She's like, how can you eat those animals? See, they have feelings. And I'm like, look, like we're gonna raise them for meat, or they're gonna be in the wild, and they will not be treated like this, and they will when they're killed, by the way, it's instant.
Yeah. Of course.
When they're killed the way that we kill them, right? When a butcher kills them, like they never even know what happened.
Yeah.
But when they're in the wild, man, it is just it's not like that.
You should here would be a funny premise for you to like try to figure out and work out. It's just like, all right, let's just say we stop eating cows, and then you should like make up some like a joke about how like then cows are going to be in the streets and in these major cities just walking down the sidewalk. You know what I'm saying? Like you should try to create try to figure out something to that like premise like an
overpopulation
exactly, like an overpopulation. Because if you think about it, like I mean, there is definitely no shortage shortage of beef, and the reason is because there's so many cows. You know, like imagine if we stopped, like it would just be cows up the yin yang. So that might be a fun premise for you to work or to try. You know, yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, like I love steak and salad, you know, minus the salad. I'm a very meat guy too, man. I'll be honest. Like I truly do.
Dude,
like,
it's great. Yeah, if you want to diet, like if you want to get into shape, just eliminate everything from your diet except steak, because steak has everything you need in it. If it's good, it's probably like grass-fed steak, and is it expensive? I mean, if you eliminate all the other food that you buy and you only buy steak, it's not that bad. Like it's not that expensive, and just every time it's simple. Every time you're hungry, you eat a steak, and then if you're not hungry, you don't eat steak, and then your body is very, very. That's why I love elimination diets, because when you eliminate everything besides one food, then you're not eating based on being bored, and you're not eating because you want to try something new. You're eating because your body's telling you that you need fuel. You know, just like my body's telling me right now that this wine is not working to recover from that back workout that I just did.
They're like, it's doing the opposite. Yeah, I hear you, buddy. Oh, shoot, man. Yeah. Well, you know, hey, you know, you're always going to have, no matter what you do in the world, no matter what you do, you're always going to have people that are going to critique you. You're always going to have people hating on you. You know what I'm saying?
Publicly, yeah, it blew up too. But I mean, it was beautiful because all my other friends jumped in and everything, and we just like kind of like, you know, made her look ridiculous, and then she got offended and blocked herself. And I wanted to give her a shout out. I really did. I was. I'm not going to get into it, but basically, I remember something from a competition a couple years ago that she did that. It was I can just say it. She told me to always save all of my. No, I don't have it with me. To save all of my numbers, you get these little numbers every time you step on stage, and so I did that for my first competition. So I have a whole bunch of them, and I stuck them all over my backpacks. Now that's like one of my gym bags that I have is literally. That's awesome. Completely decked out, yeah, and just like all these random numbers, and some of them like have the tan stains and everything on them too. And so like I look at it and it's funny. Like, man, I got 8 years that I'm taking off. I can't put my family through that again right now. Like, you know, it's just. It's way too much. I want to focus on being a business person, being a dad, you know, and being more present for my family, which kind of all goes out the window if you want to get ready for a competition, if you want to be competitive. Yeah. But I wanted to give her a shout out, and I wanted to say, hey, this is something that you told me a while ago that was really inspirational to me, and I couldn't even find her. Like, oh, that sucks. I know. I'm like, I'm just. I hate having enemies, you know. Like,
We're in such a culture now that like people just have their head up their ass so much that like whatever they think is the way.
Ass is a biblical term for a donkey, by the way.
Yes, ass is a biblical term for a donkey, but I mean people. So I'll just redo that. So in case you want to edit that out, hold on.
I don't care, man.
All right. But people, you know, they have their head up their butts so much, and with their way of thinking, that they just think everything they think is right, and there's no compromise. And so when they come at you like she came at you, and you know, and you just, you know, you have to disagree because that's not what you believe in. Then it turns ugly, and then it's like, oh, you know, you're just a cow killer, block. You know what I mean? It's like, how silly is that? How old are you? You know?
It was entertaining though. It was actually fun. Like my wife was getting all heat. She's like, oh, how could she say that? And I'm like, she's making herself look like an idiot. Like this is this is fun. This is entertaining. You know? I'm like, it was Christmas break and everything, so like I didn't bring my laptop with me. I had no work that I could do. I'm just like, you know, I'm entertained right now. This discussion is fun.
It's hilarious. Oh, it is funny.
Yeah, I'm not accusing her of anything. I'm just stating the case and how silly this whole argument is.
Yeah, it truly is. Over what? Over your diet. Your diet. You know what I'm saying? Like,
What did I eat? You can look at somebody else and hate them because of what they eat.
yeah. I mean,
What world do we live in?
I mean, realistically, they say, I mean, plants, trees, all that stuff, they're living organisms too. I mean, so there's an argument right there. Well, you're saying I'm killing animals, but you're killing biological living, plants and creatures as well. So,
And where do you draw the line?
yeah, where do you draw a line? Oh, because what I eat blinks, you know what I mean? Or, what if you ate a Venus fly trap? That kind of blinks. I'm just saying, like, it's I don't know. It's just people, like I said, people just need to get out of their way for this world to keep moving forward. The people need to get out of their own way, man. That's it.
I like that premise though that you gave me. I wrote that down. I'm literally gonna.
Yeah, I think you work on that and you figure that out and just like fuck it or but just cows galore. Like what do you? And then I think like there was something talking about like cows like the methane they produce or something like that. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that you can play around with that.
Yeah, the ozone layer.
Yeah. Be like, man, you imagine that? I would never be able to get into a Chick-fil-A, like something like that. Yeah. So yeah, I think that'd be really fun thing for you to work on.
And that brings up another concern is, again, there's people that take the Bible literally. There's people that don't take it literally. I mean, there's things that are very explicitly, okay, this is definitely going to happen because if it didn't happen this way, it would be the only time that prophecy isn't fulfilled the way it's supposed to happen. So there's allegory, right? And then there's things that are literal. So one of the things that my wife and I believe is that this 1,000-year millennium, it's a very controversial topic, but there's going to be a 1,000-year millennium between the current heaven and earth that we have now, and then the future heaven and earth, which is the New Jerusalem. Most people talk about heaven. That's what they're talking about, is this futuristic eternal state. And during the millennium, it's described as this state of the earth is described as there being no death, the complete peace on earth because Jesus is reigning as king, right? And so there's going to be wolves laying down in pastures next to sheep, right? This is going to be like really entertaining to see. Basically like reversing everything that happened before the curse, and so if there's no death of animals, and if we're not really killing animals, a lot of theologians are speculating that we're all going to go back to being vegetarians and we're not going to be eating meat this time. So I'm looking at this millennial kingdom like, man, like if all these cows just keep populating and we're not eating them,
like, you're just gonna walk out your door and there's gonna be a cow in your yard, just like, oh, how you doing?
Who's gonna clean up all the manure?
I know, right? Exactly, man. Just be like, especially like if you're renting, right, and your landlord comes in and is like, oh, what's up with all this manure? Like, it's not my cow, like this is just cows. Just maybe if we started eating meat again, I don't know, just something silly.
So there's a lot of people think that we're gonna be vegan during that time, and so I was talking with my female bodybuilding client. We're going to be we made an agreement that next time that we step on stage, we're going to step on stage together. But she's also the secretary of our church of the church.
Oh, okay.
So we've had like half the time that I train her, our workout, like we're actually like focusing on workout, and then half the time we just get off on these like very speculative, like deep theological conversations. And
that's awesome.
Stuff that my wife just like wants no part. Like she listens to us and she just like rolls her eyes. And I can talk about this for hours.
Yeah.
But I told her over text. I was like, I need to talk to you about something. I've decided to start taking steroids. And she was like, what? And so that she got ready for the phone call. And I was like, hey, when's a good time to talk? And she's like, this is a good time to talk. And so it was like 2 days later. So like she's thinking this like for a couple days straight, and then she like had a whole page of notes, and she was like tell me that I was gonna ruin my life, and she's dated guys that did that before, and like it was a bad thing, didn't turn out well. And I was like, whoa, and I was like, okay, can I explain myself first? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, look, in the new millennial kingdom, we're not gonna have any way to have protein, but we're gonna be in our glorified resurrected bodies. So my speculation is that for optimal muscle mass, if we're really not eating meat anymore at the time, then we're gonna have to have another, you know, a way to be able to have this muscle definition if we want to keep competing. So that I think it's reasonable that time would be a good time to take steroids, because we can have all the benefits of it. And we're probably not going to have any adverse side effects.
Yeah. So what'd she say to that?
She basically rolled her eyes and was like, I can't believe that you made me think you're actually going to. She was like, you deceived me. I was like, I did not deceive you. I'm very, very serious about this. But this lifetime, no, not going to happen.
Yeah, that's funny, dude. That's hilarious, man. She's like, how cute. I hope she watches this. What's her name?
I'm not going to say it on the air.
Okay, if you watch this, that's very sweet of you. That's cute.
Her name's Jenny.
All right, that's good enough. That's good enough. Jenny, secretary of the church that Colt Milton goes to. That's super sweet of you, because that shows that she was a caring human being. She probably researched a lot of stuff and probably with her own experiences, because
that's when I felt bad too, because I knew that about her, but I didn't even think that. I was like, oh damn, like yeah, she was like actually concerned.
Yeah. Because I've seen some bad stories, man, about, I've seen some. I also think too, I think a lot of those people already have bad attitudes and just have their wires are already bad anyways. Do you know what I mean? Like they're already chemically imbalanced. So when they add something like that, because I know plenty of people who have taken it and they're still amazing people. Do you know what I mean? So, so I don't know.
It's something to consider. It's like for the aesthetic part of it, it's like it's kind of like I categorize it as like plastic surgery or like if trying to decide what words to use here, but okay, so like if a woman has kids and then things aren't as perky as they once were, like to have that redone. I mean, it's for aesthetics and Botox or whatever. It's like that's steroids. I kind of throw it into that category. But I guess my biggest problem with it is if I like being a natural bodybuilder, because I could be a normal guy and I could be a comedian and people aren't going to be scared because I'm there because my muscles are so huge. I mean, like you wouldn't know I was a bodybuilder unless I actually had my shirt off and was mid workout and flexing like at the gym.
I know, bro. Oh my God, man. Look at that. Look at that guy behind you. Look at that stud behind you, man. Look at those guns, bro. That's what I'm saying, man. That's why I was like, you would never need them.
That's what's nice about being natural is that you're just a normal guy, Like you have to say that you're a bodybuilder, and then you have to say that you're natural too, because otherwise people are like, well, why aren't you like gigantic? Because most people don't know that there's like two different spectrums of the sport.
Yeah.
But as soon as you take anything, you're disqualified from anything natural. So then to be competitive, you got to get gigantic. And I'm just like, I'm not going to do that. So
no, I ain't gonna lie, man. First time I saw you when you took your shirt off on like one of your posts, dude, I was just like, good God, I got to go to church to confessional. I don't know. I was just kidding. Like, I was shocked, dude. I was like I know because you're tall too. You know what I'm saying? So that also, like, you're not like 5'8", but you know what I mean? Like those guys, you can but you're, what are you, like 6'2", 6'3"?
I hate those guys. Those are the ones that always win the overall because they're shorter, and like you see a picture and like, wow, that guy's huge, and you're like, no, he's fine.
That don't look good. I don't think that looks good to me, man. Like how tall are you? Like 6'3", 6'2", or something like that?
6'1", 6'2".
6'1", okay, yeah, 6'1", 6'2", okay. I mean, also too, I think when you do have size like you actually could possibly look taller than you do. You know what I mean? But I mean, yeah, dude, like I would have never thought that. I knew you were in good shape. you know, when I first kind of saw you do comedy, you kind of like, you'd have polos on and you could see, you know what I mean? But you don't see this. You don't see like how, you know, I was like, golly, man, is that Colt Miller? Is that Colt 45?
You remember my stage name?
Yes, I do, buddy. Yeah.
You saw the beginning of my humble beginning to my stand-up.
Yeah. and that's totally normal, man. I think that's totally normal. I also myself, when I first started, I had an alternate stage name. But I, you know, and I think I might even told you this. I said that, like, I think you just go with your regular name. You know what I'm saying? It's just the best bet, because that's what I ended up doing. I just said, I'm going to go with Mike Parker. I would have gone with Michael Parker, except that I couldn't get Michael Parker jokes on all platforms. I don't remember which platform it was, but one of the platforms would not, like, it was too many characters. So I didn't want to be Mike Parker jokes on, you know, Instagram and then be like, you know, Mike the comedian on another one or something like that. You know what I mean? I just wanted one handle across the universe. And so I would personally like to do Michael Parker, but I was like, all right, we'll just do Mike Parker. We're just going to stick with it. But it's my name still. And cause my first name was Richard Fitzwell. And which you know, there's a dick joke in there, but you know, so and I was so delusional about, like, I thought I was going to be an overnight success, dude. Like, I was like, I'm going to be famous. I don't want my real life to be you know, to collide with my famous life. So I was like, I'm going to create this Richard Fitzwell character. So, like, if I'm out at Disney and someone's like, oh, that's Richard Fitzwell, and I'm like, no, man, my name's Mike Parker. I get it all the time, you know, like, situation. And but yeah, I mean, I kind of ditched that, and it's for the better, especially now. Like, I'm sure at some point in my life, I can probably reintroduce that character somewhere, you know, an alter ego. Maybe I'll wear a getup and I'll be my own opener. I get twice the stage time. I'll put a little mustache on, right, and just fucking a headband. So, but yeah, that's funny. But I'm glad you changed it to just Colt Milton. That's just. I mean, I did the same thing, dude. You know what I mean? I had a stage name, and it's just better just to go with what you got, you know?
I think that lasted about one night, because I got heckled afterwards by the next comedian, and then, like, everybody told me that I need to drop it, and pretty much the end of that. That was Colt.
Yeah. That was a good move. That was a good move for you professionally, and because, again, people. You know, people are so quick to judge again, and it's like, oh, Colt 45, you know what I mean? I think it's a funny name. I thought it, you know, it's hilarious, because it's fun. It's actually two different things. Like, it's a gun and a beer, you know. So, but I'm assuming you were going after the gun. I'm not sure. Were you trying to be a beer? What were you doing?
I would say the gun. I haven't even had the beer, but yeah. But whenever somebody asks, they're like, "What's your name?" and I say Colt, and they go Colt every time. They don't hear the T, and so I always say, no, it's Colt with a T on the end, just like the gun. They're like,
yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
It's not wrong to get it. It's not a difficult name, so I really don't know what the issue is.
Yeah.
But I get Cody, Colton, Coulter. Yeah.
That's funny. Isn't that funny? A four-letter word, and people just can't get it right, man. Like, yeah. But now you see, now you got to have some empathy for, you know, dudes from India, you know, trying to come to this country and do comedy. It's like, dude, you got more consonants than you do vowels, or vice versa. It's like, and I always try to make it a point, and I go up to them and I said, how do you pronounce your name? You know, and I'll break it down in syllables, you know, just so, even if I'll make my own spelling up just so it sounds right. Because there's got to be nothing worse than going up to perform and somebody missays your name. You know, I mean, that's ridiculous. That's just laziness on the host part, you know. I mean, I'd be really mad if someone messed up Mike Parker. I'm just saying.
You got two first names.
Yeah, Miki Popakar. And like, what? Where are you from, buddy? No.
I got two first names too. We got 4 first names on the show, no last names.
Yeah, that's it, buddy. Yeah, that's funny.
Hey, podcast listeners, thanks so much for joining us for this entire episode. If you found this helpful or entertaining, we ask if you would please share this podcast and help spread the word and support live comedy. You know, comedy clubs are opening back up again. We're trying to get things going in the area. If you're in the Pacific Northwest, we'd love to see you. You can follow Mike again at Mike Parker Jokes, and you can follow me at Colt Milton, both on Instagram. To make sure that you don't miss future weekly episodes, you can subscribe to the podcast, and it would mean the world to us if you would leave a rating or a review on iTunes or whatever platform that you're listening on. If you are listening to this, we are on YouTube. And if you are watching this on YouTube, we are on all other podcast platforms. We are not on Patreon or any other service like that for donations or anything. The reason is because this content is our humble gift to you. So if you would like to support the show, we do invite you to our website, supersetyourlife.com, where you can find our retail pages for our very own Skullbellz workout equipment line, hats, t-shirts, coaching services, and my stand-up comedy booking information. On the website, you will also find a link to subscribe to our weekly newsletter to be informed of new product announcements, sales, and all information to be updated on what's going on. Pretty much it. Finally, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at supersetyourlife.com. Thanks again, and God bless.